Hi everyone, I hope you are okay and blessed. So yeah, I've been procrastinating, in terms of sharing this video. Every day it's like I'll do it the next day, and the Lord has been reminding me all over and over again that this is a video that needs to reach someone out there. So I've decided to listen and share a video. So I'm going to do a number of episodes. This is almost like my own testimony from where I started from an early age up until I got delivered and born again. So, but for some reason the Lord wants me to start from when I was in boarding school. What happened there, and then I'll go on and share my other testimonies. So in 2010, in 2010, early in the year, I went to this new school in the Free State, and in January I started at a boarding school. It was a new boarding school. I think it was about 20k away from home, and 20 to 30k kilometers away from home. So I couldn't travel every day, so I stayed in the boarding school, but not for long. So I remember my first day at the boarding school. One of the first people that I saw there was one girl that I went to my previous school, because this was a new school altogether, that I went to my previous school with. And she was so happy to see me, and she was with her friend. The friend is from an area, she's from where I come from. She's from in a different area, but where I grew up in. So they were very happy, and the boarding master, the lady there, the maskuman, that's what we used to call her, they told her that no, I know that girl, she can come in our room, because it was just the two of them, and in that room it was supposed to be 4 girls. And I went, they helped me with my stuff, took the stuff into their room, and it was nice, man. It was nice, and because they were just happy to see me. And in the evening, one of the first things she says to me, this girl, the one that I know, is that I was possessed by demons. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. At that time, I was like, oh well, whatever. And also at that time, I assumed that, oh, maybe, because at the time, remember, my family and I had accepted Christ, but we were like lukewarm Christians. And when she told me that she's accepted, she was possessed, and she's telling me her story like, no, I was possessed, and during this time when I was possessed, they brought in like a group of boys, and they couldn't hold me down. I threw them off, and they had to call one of the teachers. It was like a white old lady. They had to call them. It was late at night. She had to come in, and she had to pray for me, and then eventually that's when I became better. She was speaking like in a weird voice, and no one could literally hold her down during that time, which was a very scary experience for most of the girls there, because some of the girls kept on bringing it up. I honestly, at that time, I didn't care. I mean, I was still young, so I was not even bothered by that. I didn't care. Didn't even mention it to my parents, because whatever. And then to show that the Lord wanted me to share this, there's another girl from the school there as well who we just reconnected, and we started speaking about the things that used to happen at the hostel. And then we're like, how, remember when this and this and this and this happened? Anyway, this girl is like, no, I was possessed. But I just brushed it off because I mean, like, I didn't really care whether you're possessed or not. I was just excited being at the hostel and, you know, hearing all the fun stories, because they were telling us about all the fun stories that happened there at the boarding school. So that was my interest, like, oh, this is interesting, this happens over the weekend, this is what we do. So there's a house there, we go and have our parties in there. So that was my interest, not the fact that someone else just told me that I was possessed by demons, so which means there's potential devil worshippers here at the hostel. I didn't really care. Okay. And then time passes, and when time passes, there was like, there at the hostel, there were issues between the Zulu girls and the Sotho girls. But for me, I honestly did not want to get involved. I didn't really care. And because remember, I came in late, so I didn't really care who's got issues and who doesn't have issues with who. I was just civil with almost everyone. And then one guy then says to me, there's like a dam or river close to the hostel, just down the road, because it's close to the entry. The hostel, as you come from the entry, the first place that you're going to see is the hostel. And then there's a river just as you come into that place from the entry. And one guy, it was I think a Saturday, then he says to me that, you know, there is a water snake, khanyapa. That's what he says, but in English, I think it's a water snake in that river. And we've seen it. He says that we've seen it. We were there, down there, and we've seen it. And curious me, like, I think it is my nature, or was at the time. I'm like, oh guys, you guys have to take me there. I have to see it. I honestly have to see this snake, because everybody is confirming that they've seen it. So I'm like, I also want to see it. And they're like, okay, no, it's fine, we'll take you. But one of the girls who was from my place where I grew up in, she's like, no, you're not going there. Because every Saturday I'd be like, guys, you have to take me there. And then she's like, no, you're not going there. But I think at that time I think she was protecting me, because I really wanted to go and see this water snake. But little did I know that they actually meant something else. Anyway, the two girls, remember we were three in the room, and then this girl who said she was possessed, I think she and I had a fight. I don't even remember what it was about, but we had a fight. And then I moved out of that room and then moved across in another room, because there were supposed to be 6 and there were 5 in there, to stay with the other girls. And the other girl who was in the room, she's the one who we actually shared the story, and we actually compared our stories, and like, but yeah, this happened and this happened. So when I get into this new room, then one of the girls, the first thing, you know, my mom is a sangoma, and oh God, I forgot this animal, the name of the animal. It's not a goat, but it's a different animal. I'd remember, but the animal has got black and white thorns. I forgot what's the name of that animal. She's like, my mom, when I came back from home, my mom was drinking blood from that animal. At the time, again, I still didn't care. The fact that a child who's about 16 years old is drinking, her mom is drinking blood, and she's probably drinking the same blood with her mom. And then in the morning when she baths, she'd have like bottles of muti around her waist and little sachets and stuff of muti around her body. She'll put those and then she'll apply her muti. And honestly, at that time, I was not even bothered about all of that is happening, that it's something that is affecting the other girls. And then one of the girls, the same one, she's like, no, here there's most of the girls here, they either use muti for boys or they use muti to get ahead in their studies, so that other kids almost like take the luck of other kids. So this girl tells me that that's something that is common and that's something that is happening in the school. And again, at that time I was not bothered. I honestly did not care that is happening. And this girl with who had muti and everything around her body, another thing that she used to do is that she used to sleep with a lot of boys there at school. I remember the one that even shocked me. It was a child who was, I think, in grade 8. We were talking about a 13-year-old or 14, grade 8 or grade 7 somewhere. It was a child, and I even asked her, what are you doing with a child? That is a child, for God's sake. And she was sleeping with all the boys, only to find out that it was a spirit. Because now, when we actually found out now when we were old, is that almost all the boys that she slept with, it was to steal their stars, because they didn't even mean, like, whatever they're doing now, it's they couldn't achieve, they didn't achieve anything. Go to university, even if they go to university, they would still not get employed or anything of that sort. So that's what she was doing at that time. And I'm talking about a girl who is in high school. So that was her mission. That's what she was doing at that time. And then in our room, one day, we're sleeping. Remember the snake that I wanted to go and see? It was at night. We bathed and we had our lunch and we got ready for bed. And we clean, basically.